Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about equivalent fractions. Oh, we were doing guided practice. Numbers 11, 12, 13, 14, I believe, yes? Okay, we've got 11. Let's do one of these things. First of all, for 11, vertical or horizontal line? Yeah? Okay, and what's on the bottom, what's on the top?
7's on the top, 6 is on the bottom.
Whoops. 7, 6, and how many spots are in between them? They're split into how many different sections? Yeah? Yeah, your book's not open. You don't even know what problem we're on.
4.
Yeah?
6 sections. Whatever.
6 sections.
No, but that's number 2.
1. 6 sections, which means I make how many hash marks in between? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because remember, that's the 6th part.
What page are we on?
7's on the top, 6 is on the bottom. We're on page 11. And then 5, 6, 4, 6, 3, 6, 2, 6, 1, 6. Yeah?
You got it wrong. It's 6 and 1, 6, 6 and 2, 6, 6 and 3, 6, 6 and 4, 6, 5, 6.
Did you say 5 and 5, 6? Oh, 6 and 5, 6. Yes?
I thought this would say greater than 6 but less than 7, and meant like 6 was on the top and 7 was on the bottom.
Well, in what world is 6 greater than 7?
When you put,
Wait, I thought that the lesser one was on the top.
I know.
The lesser one?
The lesser one is not on the top.
You mean the smaller one?
Think about it. 0 is down here, 6 is right there, 7 is right there. If it's negative, negative 6 is here, negative 7 is there. You have questions, you gotta go to somebody else. Does that clarify it? Negatives. Only in negatives is negative 6 on top and negative 7 on the bottom. Only with negatives. For positives, which both of these are, think about a regular number line. 6 here, 7 there. Think about it in terms of a thermometer. Alright, and which ones am I filling in with a circle? It said greater than 6 but less than 7.
All of them. Except for 6 and 7.
Well, you said all of them.
I said 6 and 1, 6, 6 and 2, 6, 6, 3, 6, 6 and 4, 6 and 5.
Yep, and I don't include 7 and 6 because it said
In between.
between. Alright, number 12, I'm just going to show you guys a picture because I'm not drawing that whole thing right now.
Oh, I did.
Number 12 is me.
Well, yeah,
I did it,
I just don't want to take the time in class to do all of that. Alright, so number 12, it said positive fractions.
Hey, that's what I did.
Evan's door.
Well, it should be what you do.
It said positive fractions less than 1 with an interval of 1/12. So positive means above 0, less than 1, interval of 1/12. Boom, you just go all the way through. And you don't include 1 and 0 because it said,
In between.
no, it did not say in between. It said, yeah, Justice?
Less than 1.
Less than 1. 0 is not
With
what?
an interview
Positive number.
1.
Yeah, so 0 is not positive.
Or negative.
1 is not less than 1. Alright, number 11, inner decimals between 11.4 and 5 with an interval of 0.4. So 11.4, I would just start off with 11.4 on the bottom or 15.0 on the top and go down by 4/10 at a time. So 14.6, 14.2, 13.8, 13.4, so on and so forth, all the way down to 11.4. It said between, so that means you don't include them. And then 14 decimals greater than 7.2, less than 9.6, 3/10 in between them. Comments, questions? Okay. Oh, let's go look at those next ones then. 16 through 19. It says compare each numbers using greater than or less than. 3 and 9/10 and 3 and 3/10, which is greater?
3 and 9 tenths.
3 and 9/10. Sorry, you're done raising your hand next time. Is it stopped? Is it not working?
No,
Yeah, it's still working.
What's up?
never mind.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. we're supposed to stop it?
Number 17, 2.17, 2.71. Which is greater? Everyone needs to be looking up here. I'm gonna wait for everyone in the room to raise their hand. Everyone has to be able to do this. Which one is greater? What do you think? Which one's greater? Yeah? Yeah, 2.71 is greater. Nonverbals, agree, disagree? Yeah, because this is 71 over 100, this is 17 over 100. Which one's greater, 71 or 17? Yeah. Number 18, 14.4 and 14 point, whoops.
You want 1.4.
Oh, sorry.
And then 13.8 or 13.38.
14. Oh, you're right.
You always have
14.4, 13.38. Which one's greater? Yeah.
13.38.
Why?
No.
So what's the first number that you should look at in both of these?
The first number?
1 and 1. Which one's greater? What?
They're equal.
They're equal. Next, 4 and 3. Which one's greater?
4.
Automatically. It doesn't matter what you put after this. You could put a million 9s after that. It doesn't make it greater then. The only thing that matters, look at the tens value. Even if this would have been 14 though, let's say this is 4 and 4. 4 or 3, which one's greater?
4.
4. So this one is still greater than that one. These numbers, it doesn't matter how quote unquote big they look. 9, all the other stuff. You have to look at place value. Tens, ones, tenths, hundredths, so on and so forth. Yeah?
My mom had the answer.
Okay. Number 19, 8 and 5/12. And 100 over 12. Okay, I don't want to know the answer yet. I want to know, how do we find the answer here? How do we find the answer here? Only one of us has an idea of how do we find the answer.
I have my hand up.
There's only 2 options.
I actually don't. I forgot how to do this.
Both of these need to be what? Or both of these need to be what?
Simplified.
Okay, so both of them need to be...
Divided by 2.
No.
Can I go?
I mean, they're divided by a common denominator.
Nope. What?
You can multiply 8 by 12. And then
Not 8 by 12, 8 times. Oh yeah, sorry, 8 times 12. No, you're right. 8 times 12 and then...
whatever that equals, you would add it to the 5 on top.
So it's 96, and you would add it plus 5. So 101 over
So this
12.
is
So that's more.
And this is 100 over 12. So that's one option. You can turn mixed numbers
can-
into, just a second, mixed numbers into fractions. How do you turn mixed numbers into fractions? Everyone needs to know how to do this. How do you turn mixed numbers into fractions? I just did it.
You multiply it by the
Denominator times the... No, your eyes need to be up here, Miss Wetzel. I've been talking right at you for the last 30 seconds, and you're not paying attention. How do you make a mixed number into a improper fraction? You multiply the denominator times the whole number and add to the numerator. So 12 times 8, 96. 96 plus 5, 101. Which one's bigger, 101 or 100?
101.
101. That's one option. The other option, instead of doing this, I could do what with this one? Yeah?
You divide 100 by 12.
Yep. We already know, hey, we're going to get 8. 8 times 12 is 96. You have 4, so 4 over 12. 4 over 12, 5 over 12. Again, you know this one's bigger. You could simplify and say 1/3, but you already have the denominator as being 12 for both of them. You know 5 is bigger than 4. You don't need to simplify in that case. Alright, page 12 on the bottom there. Compare numbers in different forms. So if I say 1/4 and 3/10, which one's bigger? how do I find out which one's bigger? We already kind of figured it out. You have to get both as blank or both as blank. Both have to be, what's the first option? Both could be
Equal. They both can be divided. No, they can't.
both as,
They can both be fractions or decimals.
boom, both fractions or both decimals. How do you turn 1/4 into a decimal? Yep.
Never mind.
How do I turn 1/4 into a decimal?
You see what what 1/4 can go into that.
So I can do this and see I can get 100 on the bottom. Multiply by 25 over 25. I know it's 25 over 100. I get 0.25. Or the simpler, a little bit simpler way, 1 divided by 4. 4 goes into 1. How many times? 0. 0 times 4 is 0. Drop down another 0. Now I get 10. Eventually you're going to get 0.25. So I can put both as decimals. Now which one do I know is bigger, 0.25 or 0.3? Yeah?
I know another way.
I know, we're going to get to the other way. Which one's bigger, 0.25 or 0.3?
0.3.
Nope, looking at you. Which one's bigger, 0.25 or 0.3?
0.3.
Why?
Because 0 is equal and 3 is bigger than 2.
Boom, you got it. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. This is it, because this is the thing you had early, this mistake you made earlier. People make that all the time in 6th grade. My biggest thing is just, can you then look at that and make sure? Because even if you do this, like 30 versus 25, you know that's bigger. So, get them both as decimals. The other option is get them both as?
Equivalent fractions.
Yes. Well, not as equivalent fractions, but as both as fractions. So 3/10 as a 3/10 as a fraction is?
3 over 10.
Okay, now what do we do? We're gonna have to get a,
Common denominator.
yeah, what's the common denominator between 10 and 4?
5.
Nope.
6.
Nope.
No, wait, no.
What's the common denominator?
2.
Nope. 2 is not the common denominator. That's if you're dividing both of them, you could do it. Common denominator means what's the smallest number that both go into? What? 20, yep. I multiply this by, sorry.
You said what's the common denominator between 4 and 10? How is 20 between 4 and 10?
What's the least common denominator? 20 is not between them. It's, so common denominator, remember if we do like 1/4 and 1/4 plus 3 over 10, we have to get a common denominator, right? So we would say, hey, what's the smallest number that both 4 and 10 go into? 20 is the smallest number that both go into. So we had 4 times what? What?
No, it's actually
10 can't go in a box.
5? 4 times what is 5?
20.
4 times, I said 4 times what is 5? 5 is what you're going to multiply here, but that's not what the denominator is going to be.
Yeah, that's what I said.
What did you say?
I said 4 multiplied by 5.
Yeah, 4 times 5, but that's not what we're multiplying over here. I'm just trying to figure out what's that number that both of them go into. You're working a step ahead of us, as usual. I need your brain. Have you ever tried to tell your brain to like slow it down a little bit? No? Okay. So the common denominator number that both these go into is 20. So I'm trying to get both of them to be over 20. 4 times what is 20?
5.
10 times what is 20?
2.
I get 6 over 20 and 5 over 20. Which one's bigger?
5.
6.
6. Both times you got the same thing. Which one would you guys say is easier? Getting the putting both in fractions and get both as a common denominator, or put both as decimals? Really? I would say decimals, because with decimal, and it really doesn't matter. You do need to know how to do them both ways. But for decimals, for this, I can just do one thing. 1 divided by this. Boom, they're both decimals. I can compare. For fractions, 1, I have to turn this one into a fraction, and then 2, I have to get a common denominator, which means I need to change both the way that both numbers look. So this has more, fractions has more steps than decimals. It doesn't matter, you can do it either way. Right, what about 0.62 and, what was the other one? Yeah, 3 over 5. I need somebody to come do it. Oh, that's not what I want. You want decimals or fractions? Pick one.
I didn't drop it here right here.
Oh, okay. Pick one, decimals or fractions. And then I need someone else to do it. If he's doing it up there, you guys are doing it in your book.
I'm gonna do decimal.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Do the other one on there, and then when he's done, you can do it. You want to do it in fractions or decimals?
What are we finding out here?
You have to get them both as decimals or both as fractions. Because they're trying to figure out which one's bigger, and you have to get both as fractions or both as decimals to see which one's bigger. Sometimes you can kind of just look at them and have an idea of which one's bigger and or smaller. This one, it's actually very, very close. Yep. So notice what he did here. He was like, hey, I could do 3 divided by 5, but I don't want to take the extra work to do that. He's going to get the same answer that way. He just said, hey, I'm going to turn it into something over 10. Anything over 10, 6/10, boom, it's 6/10 as a decimal. Easy. All right, I need someone else to come over and come up here and do it as a... Yep.
Fractions are scary. Look, read it.
Let's choose green.
Another person?
Fraction.
It's not second time.
Aww.
Second time. Not second time.
It's okay. Hey, check what mine said.
Maybe the third time he'll catch it.
Silas, how do you catch like this?
He could ask you a bunch of questions too, I bet.
Brandon, why do you have so many problems?
Hey, volume. We gotta be following him or doing it on your own paper?
I already did it. In my head.
I need it on your paper.
Oh.
Keep going.
Don't cry.
I guess,
Yep, you got it. So you can get that one over 100, or you can get a common denominator.
Oh,
Can I help
so
you?
I'm done?
No, they both have to have a common denominator first. When they have a common denominator, then you're done.
Read
So what's the other side?
Play dumb.
3/5.
Doesn't it usually shut off for like 20 minutes? Goes like 18.
You'll find out. Okay, you have paper that you're writing, then you don't even have something to write on. You're supposed to be writing this entire time.
Oh.
If you're not writing, then you're not learning. Okay, that's maybe not a perfectly true rule of thumb, but my rule is. Wait, you're done. Oh, okay, here.
What the?
Okay, you got it.
0.
All right, so he got it there. He just said, hey, this is 62 hundredths right away. 3 over 5 multiplied by 20 over 20. I'm gonna get 60 over 100. This is over 100. If he was reducing things to simplest, form, if he had done 62 over 100, that would simplify. Can I help you?
I'm looking for what time we've been doing.
Okay, that doesn't matter right now. 62 over under, you could have divided by 2 over 2, would have got 31 over 50. This, then you would have multiplied by 10 over 10. Doesn't matter, either one works. The whole point of this is not to see, hey, can you get it in simplest form, although that's certainly helpful. The biggest thing is, can we get just figuring out which one's bigger or smaller. All right. Last section, last ones of these. On your paper, when you get done with 3 of these, you can, and you show me what you have, you can start the assignment.
Does he stop it?
That's the one
I'll tell you.